There's a strange peace that comes when you stop chasing validation. You realize it was never about proving people wrong. It was about proving yourself right, about staying loyal to the version of who you refuse to quit when no one is watching. Because that's what rejection really does. It strips away the noise, the expectation, the ego until all that is left is purpose. And maybe that's why every no was trying to teach you along that you didn't need their approval to become who you were already meant to be. So if you've ever been rejected, good. That means you've been refined. That means you're still in the process of becoming the cornerstone, because the rejection stops you defining you. Respect starts finding you. That's when I realized something, family. All the frustration, all the doubt, all those questions about whether was it worth it, they weren't coming from failure. They were coming from fatigue. Because when you've been fighting to prove yourself for so long, you start losing sight of who you actually are trying to prove it to. See, when you stop chasing validation from people who have already stopped watching, instead of honoring the commitment you've made in yourself, you start believing in yourself. And that's when everything shifted for me. I stopped trying to prove people wrong, and I started to prove myself right. Principle number one, proving people wrong is temporary. Proving yourself right is permanent. I like that, family. You see, when you've been rejected, your first instinct is to really make people eat their words, in a sense. See, that kind of energy, I know from personal experience, it will burn you out. Matter of fact, it will make you not even want to move forward. But if you understand why it's important, see, the goal isn't revenge. And family, I'm still working on that. I am a work in progress, because it's not about revenge. See, it's really about your growth through validation, your growth through dismissing what people have said about you and focusing on proving yourself actually right and taking full accountability and ownership. Experiment with these actionable tips. Shift from reaction to reflection. I like that, family. See, a lot of times we want to get caught up in the reaction. Who's guilty of that? Oh, you won't raise your hand? I'll raise it for you, because we get caught up in the reaction because it's always like, why me? Instead of saying, you know what? I'll show up. I'll show them. And ask, what can I improve for myself? What can I change to be a better individual? Next one. Track proof of progress. You know, documentation beats conversation. Also documenting your wins, certifications earned, projects led, skills developed, not to brag, not to impress, but to be reminded that you know how to grow, to be reminded that growth is important. Next one. Detach from their timeline. See, you have to understand, you're going to have to put some respect on that process. Some people, approval will catch up once your results are too consistent to ignore. Here's my pro advice. The loudest revenge is quiet excellence. Every time you level up, you silence a critic without having to say an actual word. And when those doors close, when people overlook you, you have an opportunity to have your worth even underestimated. Remember this next truth. New keys get made. Principle number two, new keys get made. I like that one. See, when doors close, the rejection feels final, like the opportunity will never come again, but most closed doors aren't locked forever. They're trying to they're waiting on you. See, this is where I said new keys get made. And see, I borrowed that from a song that I like called Time. You see, a lot of times we want to wait in line for our opportunities, and there's nothing wrong with it. We knock on the door that the door has not opened for us yet. but we forget that new keys get made. Meaning, translation, family, is that we can find alternative routes to get to our solution. We can work on certain skill sets to get better, to get to our opportunity. Wiser support. See, rejection often pushes you to build what comfort never would. You'll learn from resourcefulness, resilience, and creativity when no one is giving you access. Over time, those moments create your independence. You stop wasting or waiting for opportunities and you start generating. Experiment with these actual tips. Build while you wait. Don't waste energy replaying the no. Use that same focus, that same frustration to create something that forces people to notice you later. Next one, invest in skill currency. This is key, especially in the AI age that we're in. Every new skill is a spare key. Ooh, that is getting good to me. I'm sorry, family. See, whether it's agile and fluency, negotiation, technical literacy. We just talked about AI real quick. AI and being able to get more familiar with AI. And the next point, show your work publicly. What you think I'm doing right here, family? We are showing the work publicly. See, document what you're building. Visibility turns personal progress into professional leverage. Here's my pro advice. The key to your next level won't be handed to you. You'll forget it while no one is watching. But when you create your own key, the truth, the honest truth is getting up after being knocked down takes everything you got. Principle number 3, getting up is harder than laying down. Rejection drains your motivation. It makes you stay down because it feels logical. But the act of getting up, submitting the next proposal, applying again, re-engaging after a loss, it builds character where real growth actually begins. Wiser support. Anyone could talk about resilience. This sounds good. Me even talking about it sounds good. But few actually practice it when it comes to being inconvenient. Getting up is what separates temporary disappointment from permanent defeat. Every comeback rewires your confidence. Experiment with these actual tips. Feel it, embrace it, then move on. Don't suppress the emotion. Process it quickly and pivot back to the action. Next one, create a next move rule. Within 48 hours of a setback, take one forward step, send an email, enroll in a class, rework that plan that work. And the last and final one, anchor to a routine. When emotions fade, discipline, focus carries you forward. Consistency keeps you upright when confidence dips. I like that, family. Here's my pro advice. You don't rebuild confidence by waiting for it to return. You build it or rebuild it by actually acting before you even feel ready. And in those moments of rebuilding, when no one is cheering, that is when real transformation actually begins. Principle number 4. The silence after rejection builds the loudest confidence. See, after rejection, the world goes quiet, no messages, no praise, just complete, utterly silence. But that is when silence becomes your actual training ground. It's where you develop internal validation, the kind that doesn't need the applause. Why is this important? If you can perform without recognition, you're unstoppable when recognition finally shows up at your doorstep. When it finally shows up in your life, you're ready for it. See, you stop performing for people and start performing for purpose or from purpose. Experiment with these actionable tips. Embrace the quiet. Use quiet seasons to audit your goals, fix your weaknesses, and reset your direction. Next one, document growth. Track weekly wins. Privately, you'll see proof of progress when no one else does. And the last and final one, limit noise, reduce distractions, social media, gossip, comparison. Growth happens in focus, not in noise. Here's my pro advice. Silence is where strong project managers are built because you learn to hear your own voice above the crowd. I love that one, family. See, When silence eventually reveals something powerful, rejection isn't punishment. Well, watch this, family. It is actually redirection. Principle number 5, rejection is a redirect, not a verdict. See, rejection feels closed, like a closed chapter. But most times it's actually a detour. What looks like denial is an opportunity. It is an offer or an invitation to refine your skills, shift focus, or evolve. Why is that important? Taking rejection personally locks you in place. Seeing it as a redirection puts you in motion. It helps you stay objective. This isn't the end of my story. It just changes the setting. Oh, you don't like that? Let me remix that right here. This isn't the end of my story. We just are working on the next chapter. You may want to refer to the table of contents. Experiment with these actual tips. Reframe the no. Ask, what is the rejection redirecting you towards? Next one, look for patterns. If you keep hearing similar feedback, it's a compass pointing you to where you need to grow. And the last and final one, stay in motion. Keep applying, creating, or leading momentum kills doubt. Here's my pro advice. Rejection is feedback from the future. It is guiding you to the version of yourself that actually is ready. But to grow from rejection, you first have to confront what reveals inside of you. Principle number 6. Rejection reveals who's rooted in ego versus growth. See, when you're rejected, your ego wants to fight back, but the ego-driven reaction blocks progress. Growth, on the other hand, requires asking, what can I learn from here? Instead of, how dare they? Why me? This always happens to me. Why is this important? Ego demands validation. Growth demands improvement. The faster you drop defenses, the quicker you evolve. Here's some actionable points I would love for you to experiment. Audit your reaction. Before responding to rejection, ask, am I trying to protect my image or improve my skill? Next one, seek constructive feedback. Invite criticism from people you trust. It's not weakness. It is actually wisdom. And the last and final one, detach your identity. A project, a title, or opportunity doesn't define your value. It only reveals your readiness. Here's my pro advice. Growth begins the moment your ego sits down and lets humility drive. And I know what you're thinking. Once ego is quiet, pressure becomes a teacher, not an actual enemy. Principle number 7, my favorite one. I've been holding and waiting for this. See, the cornerstone is built through pressure, not popularity. I will say that again. The cornerstone is built through pressure, not popularity. See, pressure exposes whether you're stable or fragile. It's not meant to destroy you. It's really defined to really define you. When you stand ground under pressure, you prove your strength, not through words, but through actually endurance. Why is this important? Popularity fades when challenges hit. But pressure, even though uncomfortable, it allows you to develop consistency. Pressure, it pushes you to find an alternative route. Pressure, what it does, it makes you to make a decision, not a choice. I like that, family. Experiment with these actual tips. Reframe pressure as proof. Ask, what is the pressure confirming about my growth? Next one. Breathe before you break. Whew. Pause. Process, prioritize, and react to chaos. This is the last and final one. Stay principle driven. You see, we talk about principles here in stressful moments, and you will have them. Wish we didn't, but it helps, and it builds, and it grows. Lean on your values, not your opinions. Here's my pro advice. The foundation that can't crack under pressure becomes the structure everyone relies on later. And when you been shaped by rejection and refined by pressure, you stop begging for a seat. You start building the table. Principle number 8, if you don't get invited to the table, build a better one. I like that, family. See, there comes a point when waiting for validation becomes a waste of potential. If they don't recognize your value, it's time to create a platform that does. Why is this important? You can't control who includes you. You have no control over that, but you can control what you build. But you do have an opportunity to grow something. But, okay, I'll stop. See, the moment when you take initiatives, you go from asking opportunities to actually create it. Experiment with these actual tips. Start your own platform, build something meaningful, a process, a team, a program, or even your own content, YouTube, podcast, TikTok, etc. You get where I'm going. Invite others to your table. I love this one, family. See, you want to empower people who also were overlooked. Leadership multiplies when shared. And the last and final one, stay authentic. Don't mimic their table. Create your own that reflects your values, your principles, and most of all, your vision. Here's my pro advice. The most respected leaders aren't the ones who were chosen. They're the ones who built what others needed. And I'm going to say something else. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. Christina King. And that's when the truth of the rejected PM, you weren't discarded. You were being developed for something greater. Family, here's my closing thoughts. There's a strange peace that comes when you stop chasing validation. You realize that it has never been about proving people wrong. It's actually about proving yourself right and staying loyal to the version of who you refuse to quit when no one is watching. Because the rejection really does, it strips away noise. It strips away their expectation, the ego, until all is left is purpose. And maybe that's what every no was trying to teach you along in the journey. That you don't need their approval to become who you are always meant to be. So if you've never been the one rejected, good. That means you're being refined. That means you're still in the process of becoming the cornerstone. Because when rejection stops defining you, respect starts finding you. If you're new to the episode, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, hey, listen, that just simply means it. Until next time.